I really have no clue how we shoot this intro, but here we are in a practice room, and I'm going to explain to you what's going to be happening for the next 45 days. First of all, we're going to be practicing, of course, obviously. Not only are we going to be practicing every day, we're going to be going all the way from Little Perth, Western Australia, to the middle of Austria. And that's where we're going to spend most of the 45 days. So on the 45th day, we return from Austria. However, we're starting a few days early because I need to prepare desperately. The main event we have is a summer camp there. And so if I don't have any repertoire to show up with, to show the teachers, we're in trouble, right? That's where the practice comes into it. Seeing as we're going to Austria, the second thing we're going to do is listen to Austrian music. Now, there are a lot of composers, a lot of very good composers from a lot of places all over the world. One of those is Austria. And so for the next 45 days, we will be listening to only Austrian music. Now, feel free to join in on this if you would like. I'll leave all the pieces. We're going to have a playlist about Austrian music that's going to grow and grow as we listen to more throughout the day. We can all listen together, so that'll be within the description. One of the other reasons to start this is that I feel like there's so little good content on this sort of stuff out on the internet. And so if I could put out a little bit more, it would be nice. Now that's really all I have planned so far. I haven't thought this through very well, if you can't tell by this intro. Go to Austria, practice, listen to Austrian music. Now, if you've got any other suggestions, I would love some. I would love some to make this into a much better, more entertaining series. That's the plan so far. Go to Austria, practice for the next 45 days, and have these vlogs come out. Now, obviously, before we go to Austria, there's not going to be much happening because all I'm doing is really practicing. This is really 45, first day of just practice. The rest of the series I want to be, have some elements outside of just in the practice room locked away, because really that's not what the music is all about. But that is what it's about right now. And so we're going to go through the repertoire we have to prepare. First and foremost, Bach. We have the first sonata. Actually, everyone should know the first sonata, right? Iconic. G minor chord. Yeah, that one. Right? So we've got to work on that. We're not doing the fugue in the Sicilian for now, but we are doing the last movement. Yeah, so that'll be. I'm not too worried about the mark. I'm not too worried about it. We're also playing Wieniawski. Yeah, the Polonaise. That is going to be tricky. I don't think I've ever played anything quite that hard or quite that much of a virtuoso showpiece. It's very much violin music. The Bach is just like anything, just happens to be on a violin, but Wieniawski is real show off. So that, it should also be okay to get prepared. I have to warn you, I've only been working on these for maybe a month, all of them. Then we have Paganini number 14. Hopefully I play it better than that by the end of the 45 days. Paganini 14, and we have Paganini 16. Yeah, that one will be a little trickier. There are still a few bits in that I just don't get. It doesn't make any sense like this. Yeah. So we've got to sort that out. So that's Paganini, 2 Paganinis, 2 Bach movements, Wieniawski Polonaise, maybe keep Mozart G major concerto up my sleeve, and that's about it. So today I think we're going to work through some of the presto at the bottom. So let's go over how we go through this. So the presto. Now I have a feeling that these slight camera angle changes in the same room, the intro was in the same room, and the just before was in the same room. I have a feeling that these are going to be more jarring than entertaining when I watch it back. Hopefully, it'll be better when we go to Austria, because then we can have some real scene changes outside concert halls, cities, rather than like 2 meters apart. Anyway, presto. Now there are a couple of thoughts on the presto. One is that it has to be fast, very very fast. So I'm almost a little relieved to be playing this presto because I have to play the Paganini G minor presto as well, and they're shockingly similar pieces. I mean, you gotta say one's Paganini, one's Bach, but really they're both in G minor, they're both very fast, and they're both single line polyphonic pieces, which means that within one line, there's only one note that plays at any one time, but there are still multiple voices, if that makes any sense. So we have this line. Like the bottom part goes, and the other part goes. You know what I mean? That was a very bad example. But it means that we have to, when we play it slowly, and when we're in the early stages of practicing, we have to think through the voices that we want to bring out. We can't just play. Everything completely, dynamically, evenly. So when we work through, I found it's really helpful for some of this, and for the Paganini, is that when we work through, we work really, really slowly on some parts, and we really bring out the different voices from just the fast notes. And when you play, you sort of only think about or hear those voices, if that makes sense. Even though you're playing a million notes per hour, you're only you just sort of let everything go by and play the other voices. So you just sort of play. See, all I really thought about was this note. Da, da. And then this. Dum, 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 dum. All I'm really hearing is that sequence, and I feel like that helps you get it a lot faster and also a lot clearer. It makes a lot more sense. So we're going to start going through that same process. I've done quite a bit in the first half. Now we're going to do the B section, which does, I have to admit, it looks a little bit more daunting, but it should be fine. So we start at the start. I have no clue why there are so many people outside. It's supposed to be the break. There's something going on with percussion. It's the same D, right? You can't play. You have to play the same D twice. And this is the first high point, and you wouldn't take the bow off. And I find it's really helpful. That's helpful to your brain to vibrate a little bit on those notes. Not because you're gonna you have the time to do any vibrato when you play this, but sort of makes sense to get the pattern into your head, and also to really sort of carve out the note rather than just straight. Give it accent, give it some. down here. Yeah, it's good to do slurs, rhythms. That's good. There's also an exercise, this whole piece that I played through a bit. Zuckerman talks about it. I was watching this masterclass from him. Because of course I love Zuckerman. I haven't said that in the series yet. Yes, that has to be an ongoing theme of the series. Zuckerman is the best violinist. Either way, he said, dotted was good for this, and you can do dotted the other way, and dotted 3-3. I feel like that's nice. It's a nice warm up because Bach is good for a little warm up, and it helps your hands just work better when you go. Anyway, back to where we were. So we were. So this recurs in the first section. It's. But now it's, because of course we're in D now instead of G. So we go from the. Now we add a bit more exaggerated, slow expressive. It sounds really weird practicing like that, but there's a shocking amount of the sort of expressiveness, the phrasing that you can keep when you start really, really slowly and then you speed it up. Now, obviously, you can't think of every note, you can't think of every phrase, you don't have time when you play it fast, but a surprising amount of it comes through. Try it, you may like it. Try it with whatever passage you've got to work on, whether it's the other, Paganini Caprice or gosh, any passage work like that. I can't think of any examples now. No. So. I also find it's very helpful to pluck. Well, I'm obviously hitting the E string there, but to pluck when you lift a note. So instead of, and you never hear the plucking. No one will know when you play it fast, right? But it does sound a lot cleaner. There's something about that just enhances it. So groups at tempo is very helpful because it helps you think of the bars as one impulse. Because you can't play da 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 with every note because you just can't keep up. So what you do is you now all I think about is the first speech, and then I just sort of let my hands do the rest. Shift. That's hard shift. So that's going to be tricky.
After recording the Bach practice, I did in fact practice more, as you can tell by the fact that it is now dark outside and it wasn't before. I thought I'd go over a few more things. I made a little list of some other things that could possibly be part of this 45 days, things that would be good to do, entertaining for the series, but also beneficial for me, because of course, I've got to do it, so I better get something out of it, right? First is to go to a lot of concerts. Now, I don't know if you know this. I didn't know this until a few days ago, but the June, July is, of course, summer in Europe, but they also have a lot of festivals in Austria all around. And so there are some big names playing with a lot of big orchestras, great repertoire, great concerts on. The problem is that I'm staying in Klagenfurt, which is like, so if we imagine Austria, Vienna's over here. Wait, this should be mirrored. Yeah, Vienna's over here. Salzburg is like over here. Klagenfurt's like in the middle, at the bottom. And Steyr's like above it. That's basically all my Austrian knowledge. But Salzburg Festival has a lot of concerts that would be good to go to, but they are a few hours, I think, by train. So we'll see. I don't know, maybe that would be good to go to, get a lot of concerts, a lot of the experience of seeing the music live, because of course there's only so many recordings you can listen to or things you can watch before you actually have to go there live. Quite a few good violinists as well playing. Next is to explore some parts of the country. It would be nice to just explore, see what, all these little towns, because it'll be very, very different from here, from Perth. So I think that would be interesting to do, just explore outside as well. This is a good one. I don't know if you can see it. Don't run out of money. Yes, that is a good challenge. Don't run out of money. Don't go broke. Don't have nothing yet left by the end of the challenge. By the end of the 45 days. And, be able to not starve. That would be nice. Also had some challenges from the audience. Whatever you guys want. Leave a comment. Leave a comment. I think we should get a little community of our own going somewhere along this. But for now, just leave a comment. I'll read it. I'll reply. Maybe your suggestion will be someone else's favorite part of the series. Better German. Yeah, my German is terrible. I don't speak any German. I also don't speak any other languages apart from English, which I feel is quite odd if you consider how many people speak different languages in Europe. But not me. I'm just stuck with English, and barely at that. So maybe it would be good to learn some German. Of course, learn how to play the violin. Get a lot better at that. I think performing more is one of the most important things, because we can get really sort of caught up in just being in the practice room and soaring away at little bits of repertoire, a little bit of this, a little bit of that. But I think to go in front of people, to walk out onto a stage and to actually play through a whole piece, it's really quite a different thing to do, and I think it's something that I need to work on a lot. Next is to create more and consume less. Yes, so this is essentially what the series is. It's just me documenting my journey of creating a little more in this sort of niche and consuming a little less. And then we have created community online. I feel like a lot of these series, these daily series, have been very sort of special moments in a lot of places on YouTube and on the internet, or even the idea when you think of the past of a television show, that the idea of the regularity of the series, something that everyone can get behind, everyone can talk about. You know, your friends can be like, you know, did you watch the last episode of this that came out this week? Or like, you know, the finale's on or whatever. Same with anything. Same with sports. These narratives sort of create moments for communities to be together. I think that would be great to do with something like this. Now, it won't be daily. I'm a one-man show here. So in order to get any semblance of quality out of the videos, and they will keep getting better, this will be by far the worst one, this first one. In order to get any quality, I need a day to edit and to improve things, more importantly. So there will be every day. So this will be day one when you watch this, if you watch this. Most people will join, you know, several days, weeks into it, I imagine. But this is day one, and then the next video will be day 3. So I will have a day in between all of them to edit. I think that's all. What's playing right now is the Schubert F minor Fantasy, and so I'm going to go to listening to a little bit of that. See you in a day or two.